Tonight on the explosive meeting of the Greenville County Library Board that happened yesterday. That's right. The trustees voted to remove all displays at county libraries until new policies are written. Fox Carolina's Anna Arender has been following the story for us. And Anna, it started with the Pride Month display at the TR branch, Travelers Rest branch, that featured books about the LGBTQ+ community.
Well, Tori, that's exactly right. And at yesterday's board meeting, member William Pinkston said that the information in the front of the TR branch didn't follow the rules.
Thus, all material displays, other than displays of new materials, are to be removed within 1 week, and no new displays of materials may be mounted until further notice.
Now, that's the resolution that passed unanimously with exceptions for events happening within the library and generic topics that encourage reading. Now, the board has until the end of September to come up with new policies. Pinkston wants displays to be fair, inclusive, workable, attractive, and engaging, and also relevant. But he says that this won't be an easy task, taking steps backwards in order to move forward. Now, they plan to work on the display policy in several stages, starting with generic library topics like westerns, new arrivals, best books to read while on vacation, things like that. Now, the second phase is general displays for activities. Maybe if you like to knit, you take care of your lawn, organizing your closet, that type of thing as well. So then the final stage is tackling what Pinkston is calling more controversial displays,
containing various topics of politics, religion, vaccinations, woke, euthanasia, genetic engineering, right to life, right to choose. Fair, inclusive, workable, attractive, engaging, and relevant. In order to be relevant and inclusive with some topics, we will need to determine how to be fair and workable, as well as attractive and engaging with other topics. Procedures for doing so should be discovered as the library works through the less controversial topics.
And the board said that there were 3 unapproved displays at different branches this month. Tori?
Well, yesterday, Anna, when we talked to you, we know that some tempers flared in that meeting and somebody almost got kicked out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. After the vote to remove the displays was on the floor, it was open to public comment. Now, some people agreeing with the board's decision, and then there were those that did not.
Free speech means a free press and great libraries. And please leave our librarians to do their work.
Public libraries have a duty to defend free access to authors' works.
Library board doesn't stay in their lane. What they need to do is let librarians do their job. Librarians have dealt with issues like this for years and years.
I do not feel like it's the library's purpose to promote diversity in our community. There's so many other venues here that can be done through.
I tried to reach out to all of the board members today for further comments on their decision. However, all of their emails bounced back to me stating that they were down because of maintenance. Now, this is a story that I'm going to be staying on top of as it continues to develop. Now, I'm live in the studio. I'm Anna Arender.